So, respected chairpersons, uh, so as we all know, the currently like India stands at number 3 in terms of total transplantation and number 1 in terms of living donor transplantation. And except Turkey, the proportion of the living donor transplantation among the 10 countries in the top 10 countries in the world, India's proportion in the living donor transplantation is the highest out of the total transplant. How much proportion is living donor? Turkey is higher than India comparatively, but absolute number living donor we are at number 1. So we have around 1,10,000 patients in the waiting list, out of which 76,000 are waiting for kidney. So this is a huge waiting list number, as you can see, and this is the death number which was reported in 2024, and you can see the numbers that we did which were reported to the national registry, the number of transplants that were done last year, 13,476, which included only 1,918. So less than 2,000 kidney transplants which happened from deceased donation. So that is the current situation. So number of swab transplants that have been recorded in the national registry, this is the number 2019 onwards, you can see that has been recorded, but it is possible that many of them were not reported to the national registry. But last year we recorded 165 swab transplants, and before that it was 198. And the numbers in the red are the pediatric swab transplants which were reported to the national registry. State-wise, if we see, these are the various states where the swab transplant has been initiated: Andhra Pradesh, Chandigarh, Delhi NCR, Gujarat, Haryana, Jammu Kashmir, Kerala, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Manipur, Punjab, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh. So quite a number of states, total 165 transplants that were reported. So if we divide the states in terms of in terms of number of transplant, like what is the capacity of various states in terms of transplantation. So these are the various states where there is zero transplantation, states and union territories. The upper group, there has not been any transplant activity in at least till 2024. 25, 1 or 2 may have started 1 or 2 transplantation. Then we can see the group of states where the transplant number has been between 1 to 50 total in a year, which includes Jammu Kashmir, Manipur, Bihar, Uttarakhand, Goa, Himachal Pradesh, Jharkhand and Tripura. And the lower group is the states where there has not been any deceased donor transplantation. Like transplantation is there, but no deceased donor transplantation. This is a situation till 2024 and till the end of 2024. And these are the states where transplantation is there, but no deceased donor transplantation. So we have a law, and the law allows us living donation at the age of 18 years and above, and and law allows us swab transplant between near relatives, that is allowed. Swab transplantation basically by definition is two biologically incompatible donor recipient pairs when they exchange organs so that each recipient receives a compatible organ from the other pair's donor, overcoming the incompatibility, and that is allowed under the law under this section 9 and subsection 3A. So, and clearly it says that any living donor who has agreed to donate, so that intent of donation has to be proved, that the living donor has agreed to donate to his organ to his near relative. So that's why some people, they question me, why are you asking the form number 1 or form number 2? We are asking form number 1 because this intent to donation who has agreed to donate can only be indicated by form number 1 or form number 2. But then the question comes whether the person is compatible or not compatible for donation. So that, and similarly the law says the second donor who has agreed to donate, so both of them have to agree to donate, and that agree to donation is indicated in the form number 1 and form number 2. That's why we are asking for form number 1 and 2, and they have to enter into a single agreement, which is the legal form number 11. So, and approval of the authorization committee is mandatory. So currently, as the our near relatives, these are the 6 categories of relations which are near relations: parents, children, spouse, siblings, grandparents and grandchildren, which are allowed to exchange organs. And incompatibility could be because of the blood group, HLA, age also, size and sensitized patients. Medical fitness could be another reason where you are also going for exchange. So we have a law that whenever there is a such kind of a exchange is taking place, the authorization committee has to approve it. And also there is a law in case of a foreigner, if it is there, then any foreigner, if donation is happening, transplant is happening, then a prior approval of the authorization committee is also required in those cases, and no Indian donor is allowed to donate to a foreign national unless he is a near relative. So these are the clear cut restrictions which are there in the Indian law, which have to be complied. We as you know, we have now a mandate given to the central government to establish the network and maintain a registry, and this is the network which is maintained. And currently this network mentions the transplant centers. Currently we have total around 1065 centers are linked with this network, out of which 746 are transplant centers. So, and authorization committee is a 7-member body which basically approves these cases, and out of which 2 members are from the government nominees, and the rest are, this is a composition that you can read in the law. And we already have given an advisory that after the documentation is completed, the approval should come within 7 days by the authorization committee. These are the various documents which we have indicated: form number 1 and 2, legal form, which is to indicate the intent of donation by the near relative. Second is the identification documents. We advocate that minimum 2 identification documents like Aadhaar card or PAN card or like these of each donor and recipient should be there. Then any documents to prove the claimed relationship, that is mother son, father son. Form number 5 is required where there is a doubt about the genetic relationship. In case of near relation, then DNA should be done to clarify the genetic relationships. Form 6 is for the spousal. If there is exchange of the spousal, particularly the wife, if it is there, then it should be filled up. Form 11 is the joint agreement between the donor and recipient for the exchange. And Form 20, if the transplant has to happen outside the state from which the payers belong. So, and ultimate Form 20 is the verification certificate by the Tehsildar, and Form 21 is for foreigners, and particularly the swab transplant will happen in case of a foreigner, will not be possible in case of an Indian payer and a foreigner payer. But if there are 2 foreign payers are there, they can exchange and come do the transplant in India. And we should have the documents proving incompatible with the near relation and compatible with the proposed donor and recipient. So those documents should, incompatibility and compatibility related reports should also be there. So basically there are various issues and challenges which we can, I'll just take 2 minutes more, and then medical factors are there like blood group, HLA, age group, age, size, sensitize and fitness of the donors. Like they, from both the sides, like those matches should be there. Then socio-economic and ethical factors like gender issues, anonymous versus non-anonymous versus transparency. Like currently, the most of the centers they are doing in a non-anonymous way or a transparent way, where the donors, where these pairs, they are allowed to, even meet each others, and and then concerns of coercion, financial dealing, and commercial organ trafficking are there, which should be need to be taken care of, and awareness and acceptance. Cost is another factor. Cost, particularly of the logistics. Then legal factors, whether because clearly there is only the law mentions, but it can be extrapolated to three-way, multi-way. That we understand that law allows that, but exchange between an Indian pair and a foreigner pair, our interpretation it is not allowed unless some court overrules it. Approval by authorization committee, delays, etc. Those are other issues. Same organ swap or different organ swap. Can we swap kidney for a liver? So that is also another proposition. Because the law mentions organ swap, it does not mention the organ has to be same. Then infrastructure and logistical factors, particularly related to the transplant centers, if they are located in different cities, then whether the organ transport is to be done or donor has to be transported. Then simultaneous or non-simultaneous, another big challenge, whether they should happen simultaneously. Ideally, same city, multiple cities, same state, multiple states. So all these factors will come into play. Then various administrative factors, because no city-based or state-based registries currently are being maintained. So unless we have every data available in a digital format and a good software to match these pairs to demonstrate the compatibility, so then only we will be able to implement it fully. So that's why we talk about One Nation, One Swap transplant program. And we have the data to show that it has potential to increase transplant numbers by 25 to 35%. And we have to take care of prevention of commercial transplants in the form of if we are able to implement it through a digital solution. And we should be informing the improved outcomes which we anticipate. We also anticipate more harmonious society through this, and it could be a better option or maybe an only option for particularly very highly sensitized patients. So key factors to promote this One Nation will be to cause awareness. Everybody should be aware, particularly the patients, all those who are involved, they must be aware. Living donor advocates and swap patient ambassadors should be available. Uniform procedures for approval and documentation. Again, the same way we are saying One Nation, One portal. Online document submission and video interviews can be done if it is a multi-centric swap. Aadhaar enabled biometric verification is important, that we are going to implement anyway in the new registry. And we must prioritize the donor's well-being and safety. And while we are thinking of donor travel versus organ travel, user-friendly software, legal reforms, because currently we can permit other than near-related donors also swap, because the cases are already going to the authorization committee. Can we think of that reform and permitting international swap transplant with the Indian pair? So that is also another legal reform that we are thinking, because again the cases are going to authorization committee. Financial support are needed for infrastructure, logistics and manpower for uniform implementation, particularly for the government centers, and national guidelines. So one national registry, government uniform software, national guidelines, program support and legal reforms will help in developing a One Nation, One Swap transplant program. And we are learning from those organizations like Alliance for Paired Kidney Donation. They have been implementing this and they have supported NOTO in a big way. Similarly, the ISOT has supported NOTO in taking this program forward. and we hope with the support of all the experts and other stakeholders and the state government representatives, we will be able to implement this program in the country to improve the outcomes, not only the numbers but also improve the outcomes of the transplant. So because outcome, we anticipate we should be having better outcomes if better matched donors are there, and we should be improving the outcomes of the transplant. So that is one good intention about this program, is that we hope to improve the outcomes of the transplantation, and not only the numbers. So quality of transplantation should also get improved. Thank you so much. Thank you.